So another strike is hit, right? Another strike. We've been talking about railroad strikes. We've been talking about shipping strikes, like FedEx and UPS are having strikes, all affecting our supply chain. But now this is affecting another sector, and it's going to be another biggest strike in this sector's history. All right. So this is huge. If you haven't heard what's going on in Minnesota, then this is going to start happening nationwide too. All right. Because this is what happens. People see other people being, successful in their strikes, getting what they want, and they start mimicking it. All right. This could go nationwide, and this could shut down our entire medical system. All right. So in Minnesota, over 15,000 nurses are on strike right now, and they are not going to work. All right. They are pretty much shutting down the medical system. The nurses are critical. They keep the ball rolling. They keep everything going. Of course, doctors, surgeons, all this stuff's critical too, but the nurses are on the front lines with every single patient and really keep the ball rolling, keep the process going. All right. And the reason that they are striking is very telling, from what I'm reading. All right. And this makes sense because the strikes, all the other strikes, the farmers are striking, the farmers are having protests all over the world. This is global. All right. But it makes sense. They want to have more freedom. They do not have any freedom in their medical practice right now. Everything is highly regulated. Everything is highly watched, controlled. It's a giant bureaucracy right now. The doctor's power, the nurse's power has been stripped away, and it's become a governmental power. The government has all the power. The government makes all the policies, and if you don't follow these policies directly, your hospital, your practice doesn't get funding. Your practice doesn't qualify for insurance. You lose out on a ton of potential customers. Okay. It's a game that they play. It's like, oh, I guess you don't have to follow it, but if you don't, we might shut you down. We might take your license, and you might not qualify for insurance and all these government programs that really help hospitals and private practice. So the nurses want to have autonomy. They want to take back control of what they're doing to their patients. They don't want to be a robot. They don't want to be replaced by a robot that just does the same thing to everyone. They want to be able to, give care that's specific to each patient. So I think that's something good. I think that's something we could all get behind. And, there's other things like wages that they're also striking for. But it seems like the biggest issue that they want solved is this autonomy and being able to make decisions for themselves. Let me know if you're a nurse. Let me know if this has been affecting you at all. And let me know what else. I've also seen nurses say, I made a whole video on this probably a few months ago now, how nurses are warning that there's massive medicine shortages as well. All right. Massive shortages of medical supplies, critical supplies that they need, like IV bags, all this stuff. They're in short supply right now. Even things like ibuprofen, all right, are being affected because the supply chain with China is so screwed up right now that it's affecting our medicines. It's a giant percentage of our medicines come from overseas, are manufactured in China, and it's a giant liability to the American people. It's a national security risk. Our medicines that we need for our people, to keep them healthy, to keep our soldiers healthy, to keep our economy going, a vast majority of them are manufactured overseas in China, and the supply chain is not operating at full capacity, and they're having massive medicine shortages. Go look it up on the CDC's own website. They have a whole list of all, Google it, medicine shortages, CDC. They have a whole list on their website of all the medicines that are in short supply right now. So make sure you stock up on stuff like that, all right? Because nurses are warning of this too, all right? I made a video a couple months ago. Nurses all over my comment section, all in my emails, are warning that there could be massive medicine shortages coming very soon, and there already is, and they're already, you know, mixing and matching things to fill in the gaps. You know what I mean? They're using acetaminophen instead of ibuprofen or whatever, okay? And I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm not saying to do anything like that. I'm saying that's what nurses have told me directly, that's what they are experiencing. They're having to, like, you know, switch stuff like that, switch little things to fill in the gaps. All right, so let me know what you're seeing. When I was at the store, this was a few months ago too, our children got sick. I was sick for a little bit too, and we had to get infant Tylenol and infant ibuprofen, all right, for our baby, and it was in very short supply. There was only a couple boxes left, and we had to grab them because we used them up. We have 2 kids. So this is a thing. I'm seeing it in stores around me as well. And what would you do, you know, if your kid is sick, your kid has a fever? We were kind of desperate for this medicine to get our child's fever down. And you think that you should be able to go to the store and get infant Tylenol. It's very specific. It's a liquid form. It's a very low dose for kids. They can't take normal, especially babies. So they need this like liquid infant Tylenol that's very specific for them, a very specific dose, and everything measured very specifically. And what are you supposed to do if that's not available? How are you supposed to bring your children's temperature down? Okay, so this is serious. Even simple things like this, simple medicines that have revolutionized the world, are now in short supply because we've exported our supply chain. We've exported all of our factories. We've shipped all that stuff overseas, and we don't control it anymore. We don't control the supply chain anymore. All right, so it's vulnerable. So let's get it back. Let's start making medical equipment, medicines here in America. All right, and let's get our nurses treated better. Let's give our nurses what they want. All right, we spend so much money on just ridiculous things, but the people that are critical to our infrastructure, like railroad workers and FedEx workers, shipping workers, truckers, farmers, nurses, they are all just left on the back burner. They get the scraps, you know? Here's the scraps. Teachers, all these people, they get the scraps, and it's forcing the standard to be lower because people that you know, are smarter, can do better things, can do different things, they're gonna go get higher paying jobs. Okay, it's forcing the standard to be lower too. And that's not a knock on anyone or any nurses. That's just how it works, is when you don't give people what they need for the jobs, you're not gonna take the job. Good people aren't gonna take the job every time. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you're seeing. If you're a nurse or in the medical field, are you seeing shortages? And do you agree with these nurses in Minnesota? Over 15,000. It's supposed to be the largest private sector nursing strike in history, supposedly, in the United States. That's what they're saying. That's what they're claiming. So let me know what you guys think, and hit it up down there, guys. Thank you so much for all your comments. I'm going to try to get to some of them. I'm going to try to get tonight to hit them up. And thank you guys. You have a big old blessed day.